Roger. Thank you so much for being here today. We're super excited to get to interview you. I would love if you could introduce yourself.
Happy to. Roger Knecht, president of Universal Accounting Center. And basically, I've been doing this for 20 years, working with accounting professionals, helping business owners. So this is what I love to do.
Love that. I would love if you could tell us what your books are about.
Certainly. So wrote two books. First of this happens to be Your Strategic Accountant. After working with a number of business accounting professionals, I found that there is a miscommunication about what it is they say about the accounting services that they provide for small business owners. So this is written to business owners to help them understand what they can expect from accounting services.
Love that. What inspired you to write your books?
So the two books were meant to actually help business owners really leverage the accounting information that's available to them to help them run their businesses more, let's say, optimistically, aggressively, confidently. The intent is basically when a business owner has well-informed information that they can lean upon, I think they can make better informed business decisions. And so that's what I'm trying to help them with.
Love that. When you were writing your books, who were you thinking of when it comes to who they're for?
Generally, it's the small business owner, somebody that's started the company who is more of the entrepreneurial spirited person. They're very passionate about what it is they do for a living. It's what it is that they do because they have a great product or service, but they struggle to understand either the business side of things or, more importantly, the accounting side of things. And so this is intended to actually help them as they run their companies to realize what other resources are available to help them make more informed business decisions.
Love that. How long have you been writing and what made you really sit down and start writing?
Great question. So writing, obviously everybody writes emails and so forth, but writing a book, that was a big challenge for me. I found a publisher and was challenged by a number of individuals to take what I was sharing on the stage and communicating to individuals and put it into book form. And I didn't really know how to do that. And so when I was given the challenge, I sat down with a publisher and he gave me an idea of how I could actually articulate this in a written form. Wrote the two books, and really it just kind of took off. Once you sit down and have some concepts of what it is you're doing and have someone kind of guiding you through the process, asking the questions, the ideas start to flow and you're able to actually put together something concise that helps business owners.
Love that. What is your schedule like when you are writing a book?
Uh, Very, very hectic. There's a lot of deadlines. I missed many of the deadlines. As I was working with my publisher, I found that they had very clear expectations that I was unfortunately unable to meet. So the back and forth was a little. It was interesting. You think in your mind that it makes sense. You communicate it verbally and people nod and they say, yo, I get it. But when you write it down, you need to be very clear in the words you're using, how you're phrasing things. And that clear, concise communication was something that I wanted to make very, very deliberate for the business owners. And through a number of revisions, I think we got there.
Love that. What do you need in your writing space to help you stay focused?
Oh, great question. A clear understanding of who my reader is, who am I writing to, and that was hard because I had to kind of imagine in my mind who was going to read this and what they were hoping to get out of the time spent reading it. So I just had to keep going back to they don't know what I know, they don't know they haven't experienced the things I've experienced. So I need to actually break this down into a way that they can relate and understand. And so that was something that I had to continually go back to.
Love that. So this isn't one of our typical questions, but I think it's important for people who are listening. In the book, are the accounting terms broken down in a way that a general person with barely any knowledge can understand?
Yes, definitely. This is not an accounting book. So in both instances, each of the books are written to the business owner. Their strengths are in what they do and do well. And so I'm not assuming they understand accounting. I'm intending to actually help them with each of these books, really see what it is that they can do to kind of leverage this information that's available, but oftentimes overlooked and not utilized. And so now they're in a position where they can understand what they should expect from their accounting professional, what they should be asking their accounting professional, and how to use that information in making business decisions.
Amazing. Love that. What is your favorite writing snack or drink?
Snack or drink, definitely soda. I've got a good diet Dr. Pepper that was with me quite a bit. As to snacks, I can't really say I snacked on anything, but I definitely did get up and go eat a meal or two. So
Love that. Diet Dr. Pepper is our go-to here.
There you go.
What type of books do you enjoy personally reading?
So I've got two genres that I'll look at: business help books, self-improvement type books, and so I do enjoy those. I'm reading one right now called The Atomic Habits that I find very interesting. The other is more for kind of a distraction, an escape, and so they're referred to as prepper books in some circles. It's basically cataclysmic events and how people survive or adapt to those situations.
Love that. Are there any books or authors that inspired you to become a writer?
Oh, great question. Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's the Michael Gerber E-Myth type book that was really kind of a mainstay for small business owners. And I felt a lot of people were really familiar with his terms. And I wanted to take it another level. And then my predecessor, I'm the third president of the company. The previous president, he wrote a book called In the Black. And I felt that that book also just kind of nailed it for small business owners, much like E-Myth was. And it's on its seventh printing and really resonated. So those two really helped me realize that business owners have a desire to, once they get into business, kind of figure out what they're supposed to be doing. And so that led me to say, well, I've got a narrative. I've got 20 years of experience sharing this message. I need to put it in print. And so I think those two would be the ones I'd name.
Love that. What books did you grow up reading? Did you have an all-time favorite?
Oh, uh, Orson Scott Card comes to mind. That was a good one that I read. Oh, C.S. Lewis and Og Mandino. Og Mandino was really big when I was a late teenager. I read a lot of Og Mandino's works, and he really impressed upon me quite a bit. So those would be my go-to. In my 20s, it was Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie, a few in that genre. So that's what I was experiencing in my 20s.
Love that. On the opposite side of that, now as an adult, what are your favorite series or authors that if they come out with something, you automatically grab it?
Oh, I can't honestly say I have like a specific author. I mean, it's not like they have book series or anything like that. So I just kind of jump from the business book to business books. I can definitely tell you I'm notorious for buying a book and not reading it in a quick manner. So I buy them quicker than I can read them. So I've got a stack over here in one of those kind of organizers that I have as to styles. And I've got about 20 books that I'm behind on. So I can't say I've got like a author I'm following, but I definitely have a collection of these self-help books and business books that I follow.
Love that. What would you tell someone just starting out with reading again?
Oh, take it, do it. I will say this. This is something that's interesting. I'm someone that likes something physical. When I am reading for leisure, I can see, grabbing something that's a digital type book and just kind of enjoying myself and on the beach or in commute or whatever, just taking advantage of that or hearing it in audio. But if I want to take notes, if I want to write in the margin, highlight things, I know they've had studies where they've shown that if you're actually wanting to retain the information, memorize it, you need a visual connection as to where it is on the page that you're marking and so forth. That way you can more easily reference and find it. So I'm of the opinion that for leisure readings, I'll do the audio or the digital, but if it's something that I'm trying to retain, reference, look back to, it's definitely the physical copy. So maybe that answers your question.
Love that. On the other side of that, what would you tell someone just starting to write their own book?
Own book. I'm going to give the advice I was given. One, do you have a message to share? Do you feel you have something different, unique that people would benefit hearing from? And that's for entertainment or for improvement or whatever the case may be. Is do you have something that's unique that is a perspective that others can benefit from? The second thing I would say is your audience one that would have a value or appreciate the book? And if that's the case, then by all means, sit down, put together an outline, see if you can actually write in some short form what it is you're trying to communicate. And if it makes sense, then elaborate on it and develop the book.
Love that. What's one thing that people are generally surprised to find out about you?
That I'm not an accountant by trade. I work with accounting professionals. I work with business owners. I work in the accounting space and been doing it for over 20 years. So it's definitely something I'm very comfortable with. But typically they presume that I'm a CPA or an EA, and by trade, that is not what I am. So yeah, that's kind of a surprise sometimes to people.
Love that. Is there anything you would like to say or add?
Yes, book reading. It doesn't have to be an ancient hobby. Let's say. I mean, it's some of the things that I remember reading the newspaper on a daily basis. I remember getting magazines and reading them all the time. Gone are the days where we had on our doorsteps the newspapers. Gone are the days of where we have a magazine to look at. So that's kind of sad, but obviously in our news feeds and the social media, we get access to information. We do need to be a little bit more diligent in not being caught up in some of the hoaxes and false narratives, but nonetheless, read, be in tune. I will actually add this part. I'm glad you asked. I'm going to add that if you want to be an expert in any topic or any type of information, read 4 books. You read 4 books, you will know more than 90% of the people on any given topic if you just take the time to read 4 books. And books are different than a podcast, different than a short article or something. It's where they actually go through and explain and articulate well kind of the pros and cons. They give you a great deal of information that you're not going to get in a short read. So if you want to be the expert in any given area, read 4 books and you're going to know more than most people on any topic.
So amazing. Love that. Where's the best place for readers to find your books? I know some readers love signed copies. Is that an option? And the best place to connect with you?
Easiest place, go to universalaccounting.com. There you will see in the navigation free resources, and it's there that you can have access to the ebook versions or the printed versions of the books. So definitely go to universalaccounting.com to access that. And then connecting with me, I'd love to have you connect with me on LinkedIn. That's something that I really enjoy. You can message me there, but let's connect, follow, and make the most of it.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. We'll be sure to drop those links in the show notes. And again, thank you so much for coming on and all the great information.
Courtney, it was my pleasure, but always remember that if it's about accounting, it is universal. Take care.